Hey guys, thanks for tuning into another episode of Katie's Positivity Place. Today is the third vlog, and while the support that we have is incredible, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could get the word out there more and help me build the support base for this, because I feel like this is a really, really important project that I'm doing that other people just need to see, and I feel like we just need to get the word out there more. So you can now like the Facebook page, Katie's Positivity Place. And you can friend me on Facebook if you want. That's cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much, I would really appreciate if we could do that. Also, just thank you all for the support that you've given so far. I really appreciate it. And thanks for hanging in there with me. I know it's not always easy to comment for what I need for my stories and whatnot. So thank you for what you all do and all the support that you give me. Okay, so today's topic is taking a negative situation and making it into a more positive situation. And I think this is a really important thing that people need to do for themselves, because the situation itself just gets better when you think more positively about it. Positive energy helps with a lot of different things. And in this case, positive energy helps people sometimes to recover from whatever's going wrong in their life at that moment. So really, I think this is something we really all need to just think about and concentrate on for a little bit. I mean, it's really not a hard thing to do, but a lot of people don't do it. And if more people did it, I think we'd all be a happier place. So I'm going to start off. I have a lot of stories today because I think this is a really, really important topic, as I'm sure you can tell. So this might be kind of long, and I'm sorry if it is. And I completely understand if you don't watch the whole thing. However, I'd really appreciate it if you did. But all my stories today are pretty much personal. They're from me and my family members. So bear with me on that one. But I promise they're all still good stories. So the first one today comes from my dad, and he was just saying to me the other day about how one of his friends was having a lot of medical problems and wasn't really seeking the help that he needed, until my father suggested that he do so and figure it out quickly, because what the symptoms he was having were conducive to not so good things that can happen to your heart. And so he convinced his friend to go see the doctor, and hopefully he's getting the help he needs. We're not really 100% sure what's going on with that right now, but hopefully he's getting the help that he needs from the people who know what to do about it. So he took a negative situation with his friend being sick and not around, and turned it into hopefully what's going to end up to be a positive for everyone involved. Second story is from a really close family friend who I consider a second mother to me, but I call her Aunt Sandy. And my Aunt Sandy has had quite a tough time of things, but she's a really strong woman, and I really, really have a lot of respect for her as a person. She's just a really, really strong individual and quite an inspiration to me, and I think a lot of other girls out there. So to start it off, I'm just going to give you, I guess, a little background, because there's kind of two stories to it, but I don't know very much about the first part of the story, but she told me that she had gone through a pretty ugly divorce before she actually met the man that she's married to now, who I call my uncle Cecil. And they are literally the most perfect couple together. I've never seen anyone be more in love with each other and care about each other more than these two do. So it went from a really negative situation into something that's been incredibly positive for everyone involved. And on the same kind of spectrum of things, she was unable to have children of her own, but was luckily able to adopt two beautiful daughters who are also incredible, amazing people. And that's really awesome. I'm really, that's really cool. Kind of to take the negative of not being able to have your own children and then going and adopting other children and making them your own. I mean, that takes a lot of courage. And I really, really have a lot of respect for that. So, and then, let's see. Okay, so, and then this last story is from my mother, but it's also I kind of am going to put my own little information into it, so bear with me. Okay, this is hard for me to talk about, guys, so I might get a little emotional. I'm going to try very hard not to, but if I get emotional, please forgive. So in 2008, 2009, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and my grandmother also had a stroke during that same time, a few months after my mother was initially diagnosed. And that was a really hard time for not only my mother, my grandmother, but the whole family was really kind of struggling with it and didn't really know how to deal with it. However, what my mom told me about her positive that came out of that negative was that during my mother's chemo treatments, her and my grandmother would go together because you can't drive after you've had chemotherapy. And so my grandmother would go and take my mom to the appointments, and then they would kind of hang out during the whole process, and then she'd go home. And that was a really nice experience for her to be able to bond with her mother, who she really didn't have that kind of connection with until that point. And that very last year of my grandmother's life, her and my mother got very close. And that was a positive that my mom took out of that negative situation, which I thought was really cool. I don't see, this is where it's going to get emotional. For me, I really had a tough time at first finding anything positive about the situation. I really just didn't know why it was happening, why our family, why them. But now looking back on it, I realized that it really was positive in a lot more ways than I could have ever imagined it would be. It definitely brought our family a lot closer, and it was really something that touched all of our lives, and we all had to work together as a team, as a family unit, to make it work, and to make my grandmother and my mother recover faster. And for me, it was a really, really positive experience, just to be able to spend time with everyone, more so than I would have naturally. And that was just a really cool thing for me. So, looking back on it, I'm not as negative about the situation itself as I used to be, because now I'm seeing the positives in it. So yeah, guys, that's my stories for this week. Thanks for listening and bearing with me. This was kind of a rough one for me to put out there, but I think it is really important that it does get talked about. Really, really just do whatever you can to pick something positive out of a negative. And on that note, I am going to challenge you guys for next week to tell me at least one positive thing that's happened to you every day. And if there's someone who tells me at least one positive thing on either Katie's Positivity Places Facebook or on mine, that's happened to them, I guess I can probably rig it so that they get a little something special. So, not sure what that is yet, but there's some motivation for you. So, go out there, spread the word about Katie's Positivity Place, and like everything, like the Facebooks, like the channel. That's awesome. That'd be great. And yeah, so tell me, what's positive in your life, guys? Think about it. Bye.